I wanted to talk for a second about something that's been bothering me and that I've noticed, which is that we seem to have an inability to acknowledge when somebody's made a good point, even if we don't totally agree with where they go with that point. So I'll give you an example. About a little over a year ago, a friend and I were sitting down over a couple of beers, and we were talking about me being gay, and he's got Catholicism deep in his bones, and so he was just like, "Look, I'm not quite at the same place on the issue as you are," but we talked through a lot of it, and at the end of it, he said, "Look, you've made some points that I don't have answers for, and that need to be answered, and so we need to discuss them further, and like, I hear where you're coming from. I haven't come to the same conclusions you have, but like, you're not totally crazy. You've made some good points." And I can tell you that piece of empathy and understanding and compassion went so far in keeping our friendship intact, such that I don't look at him as being, this person that I have a big disagreement with, even though on a technical level, like we kind of do. But rather I look at him with, first, just a lot of affection in my heart, as being like this person who listens and tries to understand me and where I'm at and where I'm coming from. And I think that's an important piece of us just living together as a society, as a country, and even more than that. So I thought I'd talk for a little bit about some of the areas that I have come to see other people making good points, even if I don't totally agree with their conclusions. So here's a list of some of the things that I have to say, yeah, that's a good point.
Take the homeless, for example. I can't stand it when people say someone begging on the street just needs to go get a job, as though they have the same exact opportunities for work as you, with your mailing address, or your car to get to work, or even probably your lack of mental health issues. That being said, is it annoying? And do some people out there begging manipulate you, and cheat you, and lie to you to get your money? Yeah. Is that enough to change my position on the homeless? No. But do I hear you if you're saying not everything out there is as it seems? I do. Here's another. I'm about as anti-war as it gets. But are there some people and even ideas out there that don't seem willing to play by the same normal diplomatic rules that make peaceful resolution possible? Yeah. How about guns? I don't believe in the lazy duality of there being only good guys with guns and bad guys with guns. But yes, sometimes civilians stop horrible things from happening with their firearms. And if Emperor Trump ever becomes a real thing, I will sleep a little better at night knowing the Second Amendment exists. Immigrants who move to another country without papers really do make the legal and necessary work of maintaining order in that country harder. I tend to think it's really none of my business how other people live their lives. But sometimes you do see destructive or self-destructive behavior, and you do have an obligation to say something. A Friday night football game in October at a local Texas high school is actually really fun. The NFL, though, still stupid.
So there you go. Not an exhaustive list, but at least a handful of ideas where I gotta say, yeah, you got me there. I agree.
problem we have with saying that is that we're all terrified that if we give an inch, everybody's going to look at us and say, see, she didn't have any actual valid points for disagreeing to begin with. Maybe even worse, she agreed. A friend of mine recently told me, said, there's nothing more childish or uninteresting than pretending not to believe something that you actually do. Anyways, it's a good point.